Amy Kane's here, head coach of the Junior Swarm, with Sam and David, a couple of our bigger defenders. We're going to really show you the proper techniques of a cross check. The first thing you want to learn about a cross check is really what your hand positioning is, and we'll demonstrate, and we'll have Sam throw a couple cross checks on Dave here in a second. But really the proper technique is having your hands, midway apart, kind of like you're on offense shooting the ball. What this allows you to do is really, if you keep your hands too far apart, right, you're probably going to damage your stick or bend your stick, and you really don't have a lot of leverage and capability of using your whole stick. So you want to keep your hands about this far apart, and that allows you to, if Dave's coming down, right, and he goes to make a pass, I can put my stick up in a passing lane as well as throw a cross check. Okay? That also gives me the ability to stick check, okay, and be able to come back and cross check. So you really want to have the proper positioning in your hands, and the big thing too is you want to have your knees bent and be in an athletic stance. If you're too upright and Dave wants to bull dodge me, he's just going to knock me over. So a proper technique is having your knees bent and throwing that cross check and keeping your hands extended. So Sam's going to go through a couple scenarios here. So when he's throwing this cross check, he's really aiming for the elbow. If he goes too high up, he's going to slide up, hit David in the helmet, and he's going to be in the penalty box. So he really wants to aim for the elbow in between this area here, and anything lower is going to be a penalty as well. So he really wants to aim for that elbow. Big thing too on receiving a cross check is you notice how David always leaned into the cross check. If David just stands up straight and doesn't really lean into it, he's going to take that cross check and he's going to lose the ball. So David's doing a good job of leaning into the cross check and absorbing the hit. So just go a couple more scenarios.
So let's talk a little bit about what constitutes an illegal cross check, or what are going to be called in the game of lacrosse if they do incorrectly. So first thing you need to know is there's no cross checking allowed in the game of lacrosse in the BLA until a player crosses the center line. So that neutral zone, we're going to call it, from the time that the ball is picked up by the goaltender until they cross center, nobody's allowed to make any contact. The amount of contact we're going to allow between players is going to be greater if, example here, Dave's got the ball, he's more susceptible to being made contact. Sam didn't have a ball. More what we're doing with him is moving him away from plays as we go along. As a referee, when I'm watching the game, there are some things that I'm going to be looking for that are really important. You saw Coach Kane's talk about it. Where was the face-off initiated? So the cross-check initiated. So you'll see, if Sam comes in and makes that cross-check on the elbow into this area, you can put that right into there, that area, you'll see that all the zone is perfectly protected and safe to do that. We're not going to worry about it. If he begins his cross-check up higher, the potential for sliding up is going to be there. And if it does like that, you'll see, that's going to be a penalty to it. If that contact was directly there, that's a 5-minute penalty. If it slides up, it's going to be a 2 or a 5 as we go along. Now, the back is protected. But if Sam sees the back of the jersey, this is not where contact is going to be. So if he makes contact with this, right now, so he goes up and lays his contact into there, that's going to be a penalty regardless of the amount of contact that takes place. So the only safe contact places, I'm going to remind you again, from the shoulder to the waist, chest and side. No helmets, no backs, no lower body. All of those are going to be classified as penalties. If Sam's intent is to do more than play the ball and dislodge it, in other words, is trying to injure the player, then that's going to result in a penalty that could be anywhere from 2 to 5 to out of the game if he's going to make the contact with the back. That's the cross check. Safe. If done properly, the equipment protects everybody.